us back in studio today after a week off on vacation. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I had a really chill week off. I feel like everyone was traveling per usual, and I just stayed right here in Atlanta for a little bit. I was in Tampa over the weekend real quick for some family stuff, but other than that, I just kind of just had a little staycation, if you will, in my apartment.
Was it just killing time? Did you hang out with friends? Did you guys go out, or was it solo?
No, it wasn't killing time. I went out over the weekend, the first weekend we were off, and then, I just felt like I was really productive. When you have a week off, you finally get to focus on the things in your personal life that you need to get done.
Mm-hmm.
My cat Betty had to get spayed, so I had to take her to the vet and make sure she didn't, die from surgery. I got to take classes at my Pilates studio I don't typically get to go to, so it's you kind of get to stop and not rush through life. It's you get to live your life, but without work in the way. So I get to try out coffee shops in Atlanta and I typically don't get to go to. And I get to, try out the nail salon I typically walk past because I, got to go home and finish my podcast or something. So it was nice.
It's nice just being in town without the pressures of time. Because of this job, and if you're up this early in the morning and you're listening to us live, chances are pretty good you having to get up this early in the morning is dictating what you do the night and the afternoon before, because our schedule's so jacked up. So when you have a week just to go kind of casually by yourself around Atlanta, man, there's a lot of joy in that.
A lot of freedom, baby. So it was great.
Yeah.
Very relaxing.
So I went to a small island in the Caribbean. It's called Guadeloupe, and it's a French-owned island. So hardly anybody spoke English. And when they did, they kind of struggled through it. But it was a great little Caribbean island. Really great. And while I was on the trip, I'll tell you guys about this in a little bit. I broke two of the break the rules bucket list items, where these are bucket list items that are kind of naughty, things that you normally wouldn't do, but you got them on a bucket list. I don't know, driving 120 miles an hour on the highway. I wouldn't suggest that, but that would be an example. So we broke two of them on this vacation. So I'll tell you guys about them in a couple of minutes. It's actually 1.5. One you might not give me credit for.
Okay.
Mo, how was yours?
It was good. It was a whirlwind, roller coaster of emotions, if you will. But it was good. It was needed. I spent some time with family. Last minute, me and my lady and my dude all decided to go to Anguilla, knock off another place on my bucket list, which was perfect because it really is nothing to do there but relax. Yeah. And it was the perfect place to do that. So I did have one of those moments where I was like, I definitely could have just died because of something that happened, which we'll get into.
Really?
No, legit. It was wow, that I could have just died that fast. It was one of those moments. But other than that, it was a lot of relaxation.
Other than
almost dying, it was chill.
Man, what a hassle that would have been for us. We got to change pictures on the website if you die.
It was the first thing I thought about with you guys when I didn't die.
Man.
All that work Cassie's got to do.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a hassle that would have been.
I know it.
How about you, KK?
It was great. It's been a minute since we've gone on a little family vacation and gone somewhere. And so my husband and myself and our son Jimmy, we went to the Keys. So we flew down to Key West and then drove up to Marathon, Florida, and did spring break there. Weather was just chef's kiss. The resort we stayed at was beautiful. It was just... Yeah, it was a great spring break. Jimmy is of this age now where he's just so curious and asks the sweetest questions, and he's all about the underwater sea creatures. So we went to the turtle hospital, so we got to see the sick turtles, and we saw the most adorable manatees and hunted for hermit crabs, and it was And then as soon as we got back, we hit the ground running. We had kids' birthday parties. We had Monster Jam yesterday. It was a lot of family focused time, but it was really good.
For me, he's in that stage right now, at least for me with my kids. 2 to 6 is just the cutest age.
It's adorable.
It really is. They say things you don't expect. Everything is new. It's a great age.
It's hard. It's exhausting, but it's very fulfilling, and just everything that they're absorbing and taking in. He didn't say hotel. He called it the ho-intel.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah. I've been to some of those. If there was a possibility, it's probably over. It doesn't appear as though Mo is going to be kicking field goals for the Atlanta Falcons anytime soon. Is it your kicking foot or is it your plant foot?
It's not. It's my plant foot.
Oh, so you still got a shot.
Still got a shot. Yeah. At least I didn't have to hobble on my good foot. But yeah, man. So For those who don't know, yeah, I have gout, and I had my first flare-up ever before we left for vacation. And if you don't know what it is, it's basically when uric acid causes arthritis in your joints. I have learned, and normally it attacks your foot, but it really can attack your joints anywhere in your body.
So uric acid, are there specific food? Isn't it a seafood thing that most people like if you eat a lot of seafood?
It doesn't have to be. That's one of the main causes of it. Usually it's either seafood, they say beer, or dark alcohol or stress are the main causes of flare-ups for gout. And it tends to attack men, usually around like their late 30s or higher, but it can happen to women, and it can happen to men earlier as well. But they really don't know how to pinpoint exactly what happened to me. It literally came from out of nowhere. And that's why I knew it was weird. Because if I was working out at the time, I might have just thought I tweaked something or I twisted something by accident. But I wasn't. I wasn't doing anything physical to where my foot should hurt half as much as it did. And I went to sleep. I believe it was Wednesday night. Everything was completely normal. And in the middle of the night, I started to feel like this really, really sharp pain. This pain that was so painful that even if you put the sheet like over your foot, you could feel it. That kind of pain. And I have a pretty high tolerance for pain. So normally pain doesn't really make me wince or even like yell a little bit, but it did. Like when I went to step on it, I couldn't walk. And I was like, oh, something's not right. Like this is different. And so I came into work that day, which I later, when I went to the doctor, she was like, yeah, that was stupid. I don't know why you did that. But I genuinely thought like, oh, I must have just tweaked something, but I'll be all right.
And it does feel strange calling in and saying, hey, I can't come in today. My foot hurts.
Right. Right. Like, I can't walk. Like, what happened, right? And I couldn't even explain what happened. The only reason I kind of had a feeling what I was going through is because one of my best friends has gout. And I've seen him have flare-ups. And he's been down. Like he'll get it maybe twice a year. He'll have a flare up and he can't walk. It's kind of the same thing. He's had to cancel vacations just because he's like bedridden. And I always thought he was exaggerating. I used to actually make fun of him. Like, it can't be that bad. And no, I was wrong. Gout is by far the most painful thing I've ever experienced.
The two guys that I've known in the past that have had it are so opposite of what you are. They were heavy guys. They lived on the coast, so they were eating a lot of seafood and big time beer drinkers. It was everything you're not.
Exactly. So what my doctor told me was she believes that it definitely came from stress. When I explained to her what the last couple of weeks of my life looked like, she was like, you have to stop stressing yourself. My blood pressure is high. I'm pre-diabetic. I got all this stuff going on now. And she was like, this is the part of your life where you need to make some changes. And it was hard to pinpoint exactly where it came from because normally I don't drink dark liquor, but I did have a lot of dark liquor because it was all they had at my sister's event. And I normally never do that. So I'm like, it could have been that. I also did have seafood that week, a couple nights before at the Atlanta Hawks game. I ate some jerk salmon, which I never had before in my life. It could have been that, or it literally could just be the stress that I've been experiencing.
Did the doctor say, I mean, because it seems to me like this is a long-term thing. Like you'd have to be eating a lot of seafood and you'd have to be drinking dark liquors for a long period of time. It's not like one night is going to do it.
Well, no, she said it depends, right? Like you can, it can happen out of nowhere. Like it can literally just be stress. It doesn't have to be seafood. I've learned it doesn't have to be anything that you're actually in taking. You can stress yourself so much to the point where you can give yourself a gout flare up.
Damn.
And apparently that's what I've done. It's the first one ever. I've never had one before. But as soon as I went to urgent care and she started looking at my foot and trying to move it, she knew. She was like, you can go see a physician, but this is gout. Like we deal with gout all of the time. She said she was 90% sure. So they gave me like the steroids for it. And then I felt fine. It's like, she said, give it 3 days, which she was spot on. The first 3 days are excruciating pain, like excruciating pain to where you don't even want to put any type of pressure on it whatsoever. And then that third day, I started to I was fine. And the fourth day, I was normal, completely back to normal. Like I never had it, like nothing was there. And every once in a while, I might tweak my foot where I could kind of feel it, but it's nothing like that flare up. So from now, the thing is, it's been a while. It's been a long time coming. I've needed to adjust my lifestyle for my heart, for other reasons. And I just was living in this space of I'll be fine. I have time to get it together. And no, I do not. The gout serum told me now's the time, buddy.
So what adjustments are you making?
Well, I don't want to give up seafood. So I told what I will do is I'm not drinking dark alcohol anymore. That's a wrap. My drinking, I'm going to cut down like to the point where if I'm not celebrating something, I'm not having a drink. That's just over for me. Like and when I do celebrate something, I'll have a drink, maybe two. I'm not going past 2 drinks at any point ever again in life. This is a promise I've made myself no matter what. And I even feel like I'm lying to myself when I say it, to be honest. But I have to do it now. I don't want to experience that anymore. Seafood, I really don't eat that much. So I feel like if I cut alcohol out of my diet, if I stop stressing, she said...
Let's stop there right there.
That's what I want to ask about.
Yeah, I feel like you're focusing on the more superficial stuff.
Right.
I mean, the real work here is going to be, what are you going to do to de-stress yourself? I mean, because that's where... In my opinion, and I'm no doctor,
right,
but I do have ChatGPT. To me, if you're laying it all out there, you've been stressed for a long time. You've had a lot of things go on in your life,
for sure,
that have been very stressful. So that's where the real work is, man, and that ain't easy.
I really been thinking about this, and for these last few days, that's the way I internalize everything. Right. And I think that's my issue, is when things happen to me in my life, I stress over it as if I caused it, if that makes sense. Like, things that are out of your control, 3 deaths in a week. And I'm taking all of this on like I did something to deserve it, or like I did something for it to happen. And I think that's why I stress myself out so much. Or I live with regret a lot. I'll go over things that I've done and wish I did it differently. I beat myself up a lot. And it really took for one of my best friends, my dude, to call me and say, bro, I've been wanting to tell you this for a long time. I need you to find a way to give yourself grace. Like, you do not give yourself enough grace. And I've never heard him talk to me this way. And it was like he was afraid, because I think he understood how severe the circumstances were for me to get to the point where I have gout and it's due to stress. He's like, your life is on the line here. And I don't want to see something happen to you. And I have watched you for years just not give yourself grace at any point in life. And it's literally going to be a life-saving thing if you do. So my mind is now trying to focus on literally just allowing things to be as they are, not stressing over things I can't change, and just letting things go by the wayside, and everything will be fine. It'll work out the way it's supposed to. Because if I don't take that approach to life, I could be in some serious trouble.
So it's not so much as far as like your plate is too full, you're trying to do too much. It's just like when life happens, and it does, how you're going to handle it rather than adjusting what you're doing now.
I think my plate being too full is a part of it. I also feel like that's everybody's life sometimes, but I think learning how to ask for help when I need it, or learning to at least let people help when they want to. I think little things, making those little adjustments, and then just in the end, life is short, we're all going to die one day, as you always say, Bert, right? And it's like, I don't want that day to be any sooner than it has to be. So ultimately, I think it was, I'm looking at it at least as a reminder of just how short this life is and how quickly things can change, because that came from out of nowhere. I thought I was like the healthiest guy moving, and I'm not. So it's caused me to look at things a bit differently.
I don't know if this helps at all or not, but the easiest way and the most effective way for me to de-stress is brown liquor.
And
seafood?
Yeah, seafood too.
I get that stress out of there. The liquor will be fine.
Abby would like to make one request of parents. What is it?
Specifically white parents. And when I say I'm self-aware, I think it just means that I'm very observant. And I was observing something about my family over the weekend that I think a lot of other families can relate to. And I need to call a cease and desist on some of these grandparents, because they do one thing that I think other cultures and other races do not do. And it is starting to grind my gears a little bit.
Okay.
So over the weekend, I was in Tampa, which is where all my family is. And I've been going there a lot recently because everyone in my family is going through like big life changes. My brother's getting engaged. My cousin is pregnant. So she had the baby gender reveal, and, we're getting ready for the baby shower. And we had this big, charity event that my cousin's family runs. And so I went down there to hang out with everybody on the beach. It was really, really fun. Basically just sat around the pool all day while everyone else did all the big charity stuff. It was a great time. But while I was there, of course, you're catching up with your family and you're talking about all the things that are changing and happening in everyone's lives. And I was with my family up on the rooftop at the hotel we were staying at. And we were discussing my cousin who is having her baby and what that's going to look like and how life is going to change once she has her baby. And we're going around the circle, and I look at my Aunt Kelly, who is going to be the grandparent of this child, and I just kind of get this inkling in the back of my head. I was like, oh no, I think we're going to be that family. And when I mean that family, I think we're going to be that set of of white grandparents where they have the weird white grandparent names, and I think we need to be stopped. So I asked my Aunt Kelly, I was like, so what are you planning on calling yourself? Like once, the baby comes into the world.
Like the grandparent nickname.
Yes, because I feel like white grandparents, they do this worse than everybody else. Like most cultures and most families, they have like, they just go by grandmother or grandma or grandpa or gramps or whatever.
We've got Nani, we've got whatever.
White people, we've created our own language. Like it sounds like they just said whatever the child said, like the first word that the child said, that's what they decide to go with for the grandparent name. They have no, they have popo, they have lolo, they have lolly, they have papa, wawa. Like it's bizarre. So I'm looking at my aunt, I'm going, what are you going to call yourself? Like what's your name for the next 50 years or however long this kid is going to call you by whatever name? And she goes, well, I'm keeping it classic and I'm just going with Graham. And I had a sigh of relief. I was like, oh my God, this is so great. And I was like, well, what's Uncle Tony? What's your husband going to go by? And she goes, T-Poppy.
Oh, no.
T-Poppy.
Here we go.
So the T is for Tony. He's going by T-Poppy. And I look at her and I go, I had that vein starts popping out my forehead. I was like, that is so embarrassing.
T-Poppy.
He can't go by T-Poppy. And then I look at
That's a lot of syllables for a little kid too, man.
No, literally. I was like, I don't even think this kid's going to be able to pronounce that. So I look at my cousin, I go, okay, well, you have the other set of grandparents. That's the cool side of the family. The grandfather on that side is a big ex-Bucks player. I'm like, he's a cool dude. What's he going to go by? And she goes, Papa. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a little bit better. I was like, what's the grandma going to go as? Like, what's the name for her? Nene.
Nene.
Like watch me whip, watch me Nene.
I was about to say, like the dance.
Is this by Nene?
That's got some swag, though.
You think so?
Nene got a little swag to it.
Is this the first grandchild for everybody, or are these established names that have already been like one of the kids started calling them this?
That's the thing. It's the first grandchild. So this is everybody
setting the precedent.
It's setting the precedent. This is what they are going to be called for the next 55 years or so. These crazy white people grandparent names.
My friend, who is white, her parents, you cannot beat how weird these grandparent names are. I think they're big fans of Bojangles. So they decided upon the birth, I'm not kidding, on the birth of their first grandchild, their names would be Bowberry and Biscuit.
Oh, come on now.
Grandma's Biscuit and Papa is Bowberry.
Absolutely not.
Bowberry and Biscuit.
Absolutely not.
I think you're proving Abby's point here.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then everyone just started sharing like, oh yeah, well my friend goes by Lolly and then the dad goes by Papa. So it's like Lolly Papa, like lollipop. And I'm like, no, this is embarrassing.
that ain't it.
This is embarrassing. White people are embarrassing enough and we're just not doing ourselves any more favors.
I think you're right. All right, so I call it the break the rules bucket list. Amanda and I came up with this list. And you know what your bucket list items are? Things that you really, really want to do before you die. Your break the rules bucket list would be, quite honestly, like small things you've thought about doing, but you're breaking the rules, but it would feel so invigorating. I added one to my list last week, running up the down escalator at the Atlanta airport. The long one.
What?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Just for no reason.
For no reason. It just feels like something I would love to do.
I don't think you could do it.
You don't think I can make
That's
it?
a long escalator.
Oh,
man.
I could make that.
No,
Oh, are you kidding?
I don't think you can.
Oh, that's a challenge.
That is one of the longest escalators as you're getting off the plane train and you're going up to get to baggage claim, and picturing you like going all the way up. I don't know if you could get all the way to the top.
Okay, so you're saying without people on it, because that would be the real.
Yeah. No, I'm
Without
saying
people,
like
I can't make it all the way to the top.
empty escalator, baby.
Oh man,
can.
I want this.
I was late for a flight last week or whenever I went to Chicago, and I sprinted halfway up that escalator, but I wasn't looking up. And I'm like, God, when does this thing end? And I looked up and I was like, nah, bro, I'll miss the flight. No. But my point is, if I can make it halfway, you can make it full.
No, but you're talking about the down escalator going up the down escalator.
I'm talking about going up the down escalator.
I thought you meant that real long one.
No.
Long one.
Yeah, no, he could totally do that.
I was like, have some faith in yourself, man.
No, this is like it's going down and you're going like against stream, like a salmon going
you
up.
can't do that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm betting on the under. What? That's a long escalator, bro.
What?
And I mean, to be fair, and I'm not gonna say it moves at a good clip, but it's moving.
You're gonna run out of wind at probably 60% through.
Yep.
The rest of that you're gonna have to push through.
Are we talking about the one where your picture's going to be,
Yeah.
like where the
Yeah.
screen is?
Yeah.
That's not that tall.
I think I could make it.
You got
Now it's a challenge. I'm going to be down there tomorrow. I might ask them, like, hey, can you clear the escalator for just 30 seconds? I mean, these people aren't in a rush. Their bags aren't going to get there anytime soon. Let's go.
It's your moment. Take advantage
This
of it.
isn't the busiest airport in America. You're fine.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Huh. All right, that takes us in a different direction, but now I'm feeling the challenge, right? But I'm also at the age where I mentally think I could do things that I could do when I was 20. Like,
Yes.
oh, I can still do that. And then you're six stairs up and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that was stupid.
So you think you and your 2 new hips can make it all the way up there, huh?
Because of my 2 hips, I can make it up there. All right, so what would be on your break the rules bucket list, just as examples? Because I think we definitely broke one on vacation, and I don't know if you guys will give me credit for the second one. What do you got?
Mine were to sneak into somewhere I have absolutely no business being, like you did with, I think it was the Miami Heat, right in the locker room.
Yeah, after the NBA championship.
I would love to do
Yep.
something like that. Play piano in a place where you are clearly not supposed to touch the piano.
Okay.
And steal one of those rocks that they tell you not to. Even though, Kristen, I got a lot of DMs from people telling me, please don't do that. I'm not going to do it, but
Yeah.
it is something I've always wanted to do.
I learned my lesson the hard way. I had to make an apology to the god of wind in Tulum.
I remember.
Abby?
For me, I've already crashed a wedding, so I feel like I need to one-up myself by giving some kind of speech at a wedding or by doing something that's just a little bit more extra than just, sliding in on the dance floor. And then my other one is I want to home wreck a marriage, but one that was already on the way out.
Wait.
Like, I just want to know that you would choose me over your wife. But I want to know there was trouble already, so I don't have to feel bad about it.
You just want to help ease it out.
It was going to happen
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
You just expedited the situation.
I'm going to be a laxative for your marriage.
Well, he will definitely tell you that the marriage is almost over when you have the affair.
Yeah, that'll ease my conscience.
All right, Kristen.
Abby Imodium. I like it. I have no recollection because we did this and we shared
Yeah.
them, and I
Can't remember.
I can't remember for the life of me what my 3 were, so they just must have been really boring.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
All right. So, 2 that I had on my list. We definitely did one, and that was crash a wedding, which you did. So we took a boat out one day, and we were drinking quite a bit on the water. And this is a French island that we were at. It's called Guadeloupe in the Caribbean. So as we were going past this one bay, we saw a whole bunch of people in the water, and there were red flares coming out of the boat, but it was dark. So it's not like, help me. It was like, this is a big old party going on. So we tell the dude, hey, can you pull into the bay? We want to see what's going on over there, right? And it was a French wedding that the wedding was over and they were all partying in the water together. And they had a live DJ on the boat.
What?
Nobody was in the boat. They were all in the bay, like sort of swimming and dancing at the same time to this DJ. And he had red flares, right? So we're like, we need to go in there and do this, right? So we swim on over there. We're going to crash the party, man. It looks like they're having a great time. We get in there. Everybody's head look. I mean, they immediately knew that we weren't part of the party.
Well, you think.
And they were not happy about it at all. First of all, the French aren't real, like, welcoming people to begin with. So 2 Americans coming up and trying to crash their reception didn't go over well.
Yeah, don't blame this on them on not
No,
being
no, no.
welcoming. You crashed their party.
I can't believe they weren't excited to see us.
Hey, like, what did we do wrong?
Not friendly about it at all. But either way, it's off the list.
Okay.
It didn't say the people would be happy that we crashed the list or the wedding.
Did it live up to your expectation, or were you slightly disappointed?
Super disappointed.
I'm assuming y'all didn't stay too long.
No, we're there like 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right. But I am still crossing that one off the list. The second one was run away from cops. I think the adrenaline of running away from a police officer never ends well. But in the back of my head, that would be pretty invigorating.
That never happened to you as a kid? Like,
No, I've never run from cops.
yeah, no, I've already crossed that one off the list.
You did?
Yeah, we were just hanging out in Shiloh Park, literally doing absolutely nothing. But we were there past curfew, and cops came, and man, we hoofed it. We left those suckers in our best.
we have lived 2 very different lives.
Yes.
I would like to
Yeah,
avoid that by any means necessary.
That's not on any of your lists.
Not on one of them.
So we are eating at this French restaurant where we took a car around the island just to find all these secluded beaches. That's part of the fun on going on a Caribbean vacation for me, is just going around and trying to find where the tourists aren't, right? So we take a car out for the day. We find a restaurant. We eat at it. And Amanda stays in the bathroom while I'm getting the car ready. And as I come out, this, for lack of a better word, like a parking cop comes out and starts yelling at me. Like I have to pay $2 to park in front of the restaurant. But he's saying it in French, so I don't really have any idea what he's upset about. So, but I do see on the bottom of his car that it's a legitimate parking cop, but I can't quite make out what he's saying, right? So the owners of the restaurant come out, they start chewing this cop's ass out, and the cop gets out of the car and starts chewing them out, and they're having an argument in French, right? So I go back into the restaurant, and in broken English, they tell me that they are saying that you need to pay $2 to park where you did in front of the restaurant. Because there's a parking lot right across the street that people use to go down the beach, but you weren't in it, so you shouldn't have to pay the $2. So I come back out, and the cop is still asking for his $2. He leaves for a second to go down the hill to the beach area to try to bust somebody else. And in that time, Amanda and I just put it in reverse and we start taking off, right? This cop comes up the hill in his car and we lead him on a slow speed chase through the island.
No, you should not.
Are you serious?
This dude was on us for like 5 miles. And we got out of the little town that we were in, and I guess it was out of his jurisdiction. So we turned around, but that's all it was a parking meter dude.
I'd say it counts.
Do I get it?
I think it counts.
Yeah.
And he did have lights on the car.
Did he have a badge?
He did not have a badge, but he had a very, very well pressed T-shirt,
A t-shirt.
Wait, you didn't know
and
bad.
it did have a logo on it that indicated he was part of the parking division.
He had one of them lights you had to manually put on the top of the car.
You took a turn too hard. It like zoomed off. You had to grab
You know
it.
what they really looked like were manual, like strobe lights, like long rectangular ones that they just put on top of the car.
Yeah.
But it was a slow speed chase. Do I get credit for it or not?
I'll give it to you.
So did you ever at any point in time go over 35 miles an hour?
I don't think so.
I think this
tried to
counts
give it to
as
you.
walking away from the cops.
I think you go through life long enough, pretty much everybody has had a brush with death. Correct? You guys?
Yep.
I'd
You have?
say.
What happened to yours?
I ran a red light and almost got T-boned.
How about you?
I can't think of any like close calls with death, but I mean, I've been in like car accidents, so I guess that's close, maybe.
Yeah, I've probably chased death. I'm thinking 4 or 5 times. Yeah, some of them. One was a fight in Mexico. I probably should have died there. One was also running. I didn't run a red light, but somebody else did, and it happened there. And then in high school, I was like drag racing a friend of mine and almost hit a telephone pole straight on. So those are just 3 off the top of my head. But Mo had one on vacation here. He shouldn't even be here today.
I did, and it seems like when it happens to me, it always involves a car, and sometime I'm in a car and sometime I'm not. And this was another incident that involved a car, and I wasn't in a car. Like, I don't know what it is with me and walking and getting hit by cars, but it seems to happen a little more often than I'd like.
It's like you're like a magnet.
I don't know why life won't leave me alone sometimes.
And because of that gout foot, you're not moving so well.
So that did play a part in it, and this is why you should listen to people who love you. I am a bit stubborn, and I don't always do that, and I almost paid for it dearly while we were in Anguilla. So a few of us decided to go to Anguilla just to relax. It was on my bucket list, a place I've always wanted to go. And what I loved about it is it's a place that pretty much forces you to relax. It's just, that's all you can do there. So you don't have a lot of a choice. And my friends and my lady couldn't pull me to all these different things that they wanted to do because it's just beaches and restaurants. So it was perfect. It was the perfect vacation for me. Now, there was one night, and this is like midway through the week. We had been there for about a day or so, and this is like the first day that my foot is really starting to feel back to normal. And if you've ever had a foot injury, it like even when you feel like you're healed, it'll make you're a bit apprehensive about still putting weight on it because you've been limping for a few days and you almost just don't trust it yet. And so I'm moving, but I'm not moving the greatest. And we hit a point of the night. So another thing about Anguilla, everything, at least where we were on the west side, everything closes early. Like everything. Everything shuts down at pretty much 9 o'clock. And that's a wrap.
Oh, that's my kind of town.
Right. It's like, yes, if you don't get whatever you need by like 8 or 9 o'clock, you're done for till tomorrow.
Wow.
So the supermarket, the one that was closest to us, closes at 8 o'clock. And at this point, it's like 7:30 and it's dark already. And we know that if we're going to be drinking and enjoying ourselves by ourselves in the room, we need to go to the supermarket to make sure we have everything that we need. So my lady is like, listen, your foot is not the best. It's dark out there. There really isn't any sidewalks. It's just road and then it's the woods on both sides of you. And she's like, we should just we'll call an Uber. We'll both go over there and we'll get what we need and come back.
So they have Ubers on the island.
They do have Ubers on the island. So I'm like, yeah, nah. Because the last time we got an Uber to go to the supermarket, now mind you, it's a 5-minute walk, if that. And it's a $25 drive. My brain, the way I'm set up, I'm like, I'm not paying $25 to get there, $25 to get back, and we need $5 worth of juice. Like that just don't make a lot of sense to me. So I'm like, nah, I'm walking. And she's like, why would you do that? You can barely walk, first of all, and it's dark out there. You don't know the roads. You're not familiar with this place. Just pay for the cab. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be right back. So of course, my pride takes me outside. My dude is like, I'll come with you. I don't want you to go alone. I'm like, well, that would be helpful. Great. So we both go. So as we're walking, I feel like we should be on the side of the street where the cars are coming toward us because you can see them coming. Whereas on the other side, they're coming from behind you. You can't really see them. Most of the cars are driving as if people walk on the side and they're aware of that. So they're driving at a reasonable speed. Some drivers don't really care. They moving and grooving. And if they see you kind of a thing. Now, I wore black, which was stupid. I didn't think that one through. I should have put on a brighter color. I wasn't fully thinking this through. I'm thinking all I got to do is cross the street and I'll be fine, right? What's the worst I'm a grown man. I can walk to the store and back.
You're from New York, man.
Exactly. This is what I do, right? This is not going to be an issue. And because the way my luck would have it, we're walking to the supermarket and we go to cross the street because now we have to get on the side of the street, at least for a little bit, where the cars are coming from behind you, not necessarily in front of you. So you kind of have to just be on the listen and on the lookout for the cars that are zooming behind you. And I can kind of hear a car coming, so I try to move over more into the woods. So there's, like I was saying, there's no sidewalk at all. It's road, woods. That's it. And right as this car is coming, I go to step into the woods to step out of the way. And I turn and I see the cars coming pretty fast. As I do that, I hear like the sound of something moving. And like, that sound like something's moving in the trees or in the bushes. And it scares the daylights out of me, right? Like it's like right next to me. So when it does it, I hear. So naturally, I jump. But when I jump away from the woods, which is into the street. And my mind told me not to do it because I just saw that this car was coming. But it was instinct. It literally was like, what'd you want? You wanted your chances with the car or you want your chances with whatever this is in the woods? Because I don't even know what it is. And I guess my brain chose car.
You're like, I've been hit by one before.
At least I know what that feels like. I don't know what's in the woods. So I jump and it's like in that moment, like in that instant, I knew it. I said, I'm about to get hit by a car. And it was like, I jumped, I saw my light flash before my eyes, and the car swerves last second to avoid me. And this is going to sound like I'm exaggerating, but I promise y'all I'm not. It felt like it was so close, and the car drove by so fast that like I could almost feel the side view mirror touch the hair on my arm. Like that's how close it felt. And I felt the wind just push past me from the speed that the car was going. And he just honked me like, get out the way, and just kept it pushing. And I just sat there for a moment of like, oof, I thought it was over. Like it really was like that adrenaline rush of, oh my God, I just knew I was about to get hit by that car, but it just missed me. And all for some orange juice, man. I almost lost my life over some $4 orange juice.
I don't know if my attitude about golf mirrors America or not, but it goes something like this. I don't care. But when the Masters is on yesterday, I couldn't stop watching. That's the only golf tournament I'll watch. And we talked a little bit about it earlier this morning.
It's like the Super Bowl. People don't care about football, but they tend to watch the Super Bowl.
And if you don't know anything about golf at all, what you need to know is the Masters was played over the weekend. It's a 4-day tournament, and it's the one that anybody that has ever put a golf club in their hands before wants to win the Masters. That is the dream. In baseball, it would be like hitting a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth in the World Series. For golfers, the Masters is everything.
All to get a hideous jacket in the end.
Oh, it's a beautiful green jacket, man.
No, it is not.
This place it's such an exclusive club. And they do everything with such tradition. It's just an amazing tournament.
I love that they check everybody's phone before they walk in. So because like when you're watching the Masters, nobody has their phone out. Nobody's filming anything.
You're not allowed to have your phone.
You can't look at your phone?
No, they check. You can't have a phone while you're in. You have to check your phone before you go into the
Wow, I
Masters.
didn't know that.
So when you're watching it on TV, everybody's just in the moment, actually watching the golf match.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool tournament
That
with
is
so much
cool.
tradition, and everybody wants to win it. And Rory McIlroy won it yesterday. And if you spend 30 seconds online today, spend it watching Rory McIlroy win the Masters and dropping to his knees and uncontrollably crying after sudden death on hole 18 yesterday. It was an amazing moment. He hasn't won a major in 11 years. He just won the Grand Slam, which means there are 4 big tournaments in golf that you want to win. That's called a Grand Slam. This is the one that's eluded him for so long. And you could see when he won it, the 11 years and the pressure of finally winning the Grand Slam, you could see it melt off of him.
It was really wholesome to see. And he runs immediately and like grabs his daughter and he wraps her in his arms. And you could just see the relief off his face. I mean, this man has probably thought about this tournament every single day for the last decade. And the fact that he's finally won it and he gets to wear that stupid little blazer, I know it's going to make him real happy.
It was awesome. Watch it today.
I don't watch a lot of golf, but I do know like that moment of when all of that pressure is on and it's super quiet and you got to get your swing right. It just seems like you need a level of concentration in that you might not need in other sports.
And he had a chance to win it on 18, man, and he missed the putt, and it wasn't that long a putt. And I'm sitting there going, no, I don't know anything about this guy. All right, Cassie, all the signs were there for you on vacation, so you finally got it done.
I have been wanting a tattoo for actually a very, very long time, years and years, but I never had anything that I felt like I wanted to commit to on my body long term. It just, everything that I would have thought like originally a fleur-de-lis because I grew up in Louisiana, it kind of fell by the wayside. A wave because I love the beach, now I love the mountains. So I'm glad I didn't get that stuff, although my husband has pointed out they're markers of chapters in your life of who you were. So I was driving home from my parents' house over the holidays, and it struck me that I felt so different. You know, I've been dealing with a lot of family stuff and personal stuff in my life, and I just kind of had this epiphany, and I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm emerging from all this drama and trauma as somebody who is maybe more stable or understands things from a different perspective. I want to get a phoenix, I think, tattooed on my forearm. And then later on when I opened TikTok, the first thing I saw was Phoenix Fine Line Tattoos. I didn't talk to anyone about this. I didn't Google it. So I took it as a sign. The next day I opened Instagram, the first thing I saw was Phoenix definition, like literally like a Merriam-Webster style dictionary entry. And I'm like, okay, it's a sign. I waited a couple months. I started to doubt things. I'm like, maybe this is stupid. I shouldn't. Phoenixes started popping up everywhere. And I'm not totally dumb. I understand that my brain has been trained now to look for phoenixes everywhere, even if I'm not conscious of it. But I still think the fact that it pops up so much is a little random. So I booked an appointment with an artist named Michelle Santana at Bang Bang in New York City. And I was like, I'm going to get this done. And because it's in a prominent spot, I want one of the best artists to do it. And I think if you are into tattoos, you know Bang Bang is like a hot, like the spot. Like they just did Angelina Jolie, like celebs go to Bang Bang. So I'm like, I'm going to spend some coin on this and make sure it looks good. So I went to New York City with my husband for the day. My sister-in-law watched our kids. So it was just the two of us in the city. I went to Bang Bang and I got my tattoo and I loved it. And the thing is, it has already started changing my life in ways that I did not anticipate. So the coolest thing is when I get into the parking deck, we get out, we're in New York, I look down, there's graffiti and street art everywhere. The first piece of street art that I see is literally the word Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
At my feet. And it's the cool thing is somebody pointed this out to me, a Bert Show listener. The bird pictured in the graffiti is not a phoenix, it's a falcon, like the Atlanta Falcons. And of course, if you're not familiar with Atlanta, kind of one of our bird symbols is the phoenix, because Atlanta, was burned to the ground forever ago and rebuilt out of the ashes, like a phoenix, which is a mythical creature, is reborn from the ashes of before. And so I got it. I'm like, nailed it. This is a sign. The book I was listening to on the way to the city, because we were staying in upstate New York, so it was like a 4-hour drive in. The character bought a haute couture dress or whatever, which happened to be the Phoenix dress. Like just random stuff like that. Got the tattoo, got out, huge mural on the side of a building. It's a Phoenix. And I'm like, all right, I probably just, this is going to be cheesy in a couple of years because there's a Phoenix zeitgeist going on right now. And I'm the girl who got the Phoenix tattoo, but I don't care. It felt good. And then it really hit me because what it's supposed to symbolize for me, it's just a very fine line tattoo. What it's supposed to symbolize is I can do what I want and I don't need to live my life for other people, which I have done almost my entire life. The choices I've made are with other people in mind, which is why I didn't get a tattoo for so long, because my parents were against it and I didn't want to disappoint them, even being almost 40. It's still in the back of your head. That's a very hard connection to sever. And every choice I ever have made is, how is this going to affect people around me? Which is not a bad thing to think about. But when it starts being like, it's not negatively going to affect the people around me, but it's going to put me in a negative space just so I can appease people around me, that's where it becomes problematic. And every choice I have made in my life has been, most of them, logical, thought out. What is the right thing to do? And I don't mean morally right. I mean the responsible thing to do. And we were shopping in New York City. I needed a pair of shoes. Okay, we were going to a really fancy dinner that night. And I realized I just had sneakers with me because, I'm old now and I like to wear sneakers when I'm walking around. And I'm like, I cannot go. We're doing a chef's tasting menu. I cannot go to this restaurant wearing like flat foot box sneakers. Like I got to have something nice. So we walk into this store called Rothy's, which I really like. They make recycled shoes out of plastic and I'm trying them on and I'm between like a couple of pairs. And one's a pair that I really want. That's maybe not super, practical. And the other pair is like, I could wear these to work every day. Like they look nice. And so I go to buy the work ones and I look at the Phoenix and I'm like, screw that. I don't want the work shoes. Why do I keep settling in my life for things that are good enough, but not what I really want? And I know this is dumb. It's a pair of shoes at the end of the day. It's not that much of an expense. But I'm like, why do I keep looking at my life being like, well, I could use these for a practical reason. I'll get these instead of the ones that I really want. So I said, screw it. And I bought the ones I really want.
Yeah.
And it just, that kept happening over and over again. Looking at a scenario where I'm like, well, practically, this would be the responsible route to go. This would be the most useful, utilitarian. And I'm like, screw that. I want to get what I want to get. Why do I keep denying myself these little joys and pleasures? And it really has just unfolded in a way where, I'm not blowing everything up and making other people feel awful or making irresponsible choices, but I'm finally starting to give into myself in a way that I have been denying pretty much my entire life. So I guess this is your sign if you're listening and you're in this position where you're a people pleaser or you've been denying yourself the things that you want, or you just want to get a tattoo. Go get it. It's worth it.
I've lived my life entirely the other way, doing nothing practical and doing everything that doesn't make sense. So I'm going to get one that's much more reserved and much more practical.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And you'll hate it.
And I'll hate it, right. All right, last time we read her email, her dad was trying to bribe her with $10,000 to have a baby. It was a week ago, so I don't really recall this. Do you guys remember the details on this?
She puts it all in the email when she hits us back.
Okay, cool.
You just want me to read the update?
Sure.
Okay, so here's the update from her. It says, I wrote in a little while ago about my dad trying to bribe me to have a baby. I'm 25, married for just over a year, and my husband and I plan to wait a couple more years before diving into parenthood. But apparently, my parents, especially my dad, had other plans. To recap, my dad offered me $10,000 Yes, seriously, to get pregnant now instead of later. He called it an investment in his legacy, said he was tired of waiting, and even tried to pitch it like a business deal, listing off all the things I could do with the money, from a new car to a baby moon to a decked out nursery. I thought he was joking. He was 100% not joking.
Wow.
Well, we thought about it. I mean, we really thought about it.
Oh, and Mo, because you were out with the gout.
Out with the you were
Without a doubt.
Yep.
you were gout of office, if you will.
You were such a dork. But we asked people if they had been bribed, and phone lines lit up.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
This is common.
I didn't know it was common, but we threw it out there to help out this listener in our email, and we threw it out there, and multiple people called up saying, and then one parent, I think it was like $50,000, something crazy, and made it a competition with their kids,
Wow.
and whoever got pregnant first got the 50
No
grand.
way.
Yeah.
Yep, that's kind of messed up. Okay, so we really thought about it. At first, I laughed it off. But then my husband and I had a few late night conversations, and honestly, the idea didn't sound so crazy anymore. We realized that, yeah, our original timeline made sense on paper, but we also kind of feel ready now. Or as ready as anyone ever is for something this big. And hey, if we're going to take the leap, why not do it with a little bonus cushion from soon-to-be grandpa? So, we're doing it.
Oh, wow.
They're doing it all right. We're officially trying for a baby. We haven't told my dad yet. My husband says we should at least get a signed contract first, But I can already hear the victory speech he's going to give when he finds out. The man is going to act like he won the Masters. Anyway, I just wanted to send an update and say thanks for reading my original email. If anything, your show made me feel a lot less weird about this whole situation. And hey, if this all works out, I guess my future kid can say they were the best investment their grandpa ever made. Wish us luck.
Good luck.
I mean, I
Good
see the
luck.
logic in it. Look, we're going to have a baby anyway. We got $10,000 on the line right here, right now. Let's do it now.
But you're trading in those last years of true freedom. Like having a kid is one of those things that you can't, no takesies, backsies. You can't return it as far as I know.
Well, some parents bounce, though.
Take the 10 grand and drop the baby off at the grandparents' house.
I think this might have gave my mom an idea or two.
How much money, Mo?
What would it take?
It don't take more than 10.
25.
I get to work.
So Kristen got into my head early this morning. And now I can't get it out of my head.
Are you still thinking about this?
Still thinking about it. Listeners won't even let me stop thinking about it. I was talking about a break the rules bucket list, right? That's kind of like things that not necessarily are illegal. How do you explain it? Just you're breaking the rules. Things that you would put on a bucket list to make you feel alive by breaking the rules a little bit.
It's an unorthodox bucket list, because when you think bucket list, you think skydiving, you think like travel destinations, like you want to go to Fiji or something like that. No, this fool over here wants to rob a bank.
He's like, yeah, it's not illegal. Like things that aren't necessarily illegal.
wants to speed 120 miles per hour down the interstate. You know,
Run from the cops.
yeah.
Stuff
There's
like
a
that.
theme here.
What were you going to say, Kev?
Murder someone.
That might be on yours. That one's not on mine. But I was telling Kristen, I used as the example this morning to these guys that I had a new one when I went on vacation this week. I saw that escalator that goes from when you get off of the plane train and you go up to baggage. My bucket list, break the rules bucket list item would be to run up the down escalator and see if I can make it. And Kristen's like, you can't make that. You'd never be able to make that.
Listen, it's not like your typical escalator you would see at a mall, for instance, right? Like this is about, I think, twice the length of that. Like this is a high, tall, long escalator. And we just came back from the Keys. So I literally just on Friday was on that escalator, got off the plane train, got on there, going up. No, I'm going to take a left because that's where all the Delta baggage is. And as as you're going up it, you said you wanted to run up the down one. And I'm like, I don't think homie can make that.
I don't see it.
I think I can make that. I really do. I can make it.
Like I know as far as like your strength, like you are you're a specimen as far as like your biceps and your chest and all that stuff. But this is about cardio, baby. And I know you do some cardio, but at the same time, that's a long way.
It doesn't seem that long to me,
Upriver?
man.
What?
Now, again, I might be looking at this as a much younger guy. You know, when you get older, you still see yourself as the guy that can do all the stuff back in the day. I might not be able to, but I would really like a challenge at it.
Like, I know there's no way. There's no way I could like hoof it up the down escalator at the airport and make it all the way up there.
Yeah,
I would never make it.
I agree with you. You could.
Don't project that on me.
But also, you're the same man that had a conversation with your teenager Hollis about how long it would take security to tackle you when you ran out into a soccer field.
Well, to be fair, I'm always the one saying that I would get tackled in 10 seconds. He says he could be out there for like 7 minutes or something.
No,
7 minutes.
that's
Ain't no way.
Get out of
Nah,
here,
ain't
man.
happening.
All right, so she says this morning. Now it's stuck in the back of my head.
You're so competitive.
And I'm going to be at the airport tomorrow, so I thought, look, maybe I'll talk to the people that I know at the airport, and we could somehow, some way do this late at night, which was your idea. Because the challenge wouldn't be while there were people on it. It's just to see if you can do it.
Yeah, well, but you have to remember too, Atlanta, it's literally the world's busiest airport. So you would have to be at a very, very odd hour at the airport in order to be able to do that. Now that I'm thinking about it, they're both going up.
Yeah, from the plane train, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't
that's
go
right.
down. Yeah, there is no
They're
down.
both
one.
going up.
That's why I was confused. I was like, what
yeah.
escalator are we talking
Yeah,
about?
there is no down.
That's why I
there's got-
thought you were talking about running up it.
There's got to be another one at
There
the
has to
airport,
be.
right? Okay, if there's not,
Can they reverse it just for us?
I mean, if it's going to be that late, then all we need is one.
That's it.
Yeah, because all of them, literally, they're all going up.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Maybe they could reverse it for us.
Just for a couple minutes. Is that too much to ask?
I'm not pushing my luck. I've been jockeying for that picture for 3 years. I finally got that. I'm not messing with it now.
I was about to say, I'm like, we literally just got your photo in the airport. Let's not push our luck here.
The press conference for that thing is tomorrow, by the way. It's going up, I think, tomorrow.
Oh.
Anyway.
Your face is going to be on the board as of tomorrow?
As of tomorrow, I think it goes up. I mean, the press conference is tomorrow that I'm attending. So I'm
Okay.
assuming right after that, they put the people up on the boards that have been selected.
And I know because they're doing the press conference because there's other people who are being bestowed this honor at the Hartsville-Jackson Airport, which you've already told everybody, even though you weren't supposed to. So we won't do that again because that's going to be for tomorrow for the airport press conference.
I can tell you guys all of it on Wednesday.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, okay, so do they have everybody in the same rotation or will we see other people more often and you'll be just like bloop every now and then?
Once a month.
That's a good friend right there. It's cool that you're up there for 5 seconds every month.
So it's not only on that one at the escalator, but it's also on the like sub billboards around all the terminals also. So they didn't commit to the big one. They haven't said. I just assumed that, but maybe it's going to be the one next to the Sbarro. I don't know. But I'll know more tomorrow.
Okay.
Anyway, here's where I was going with this. If the airport's like, okay, hey, that sounds fun, but we got security concerns.
Yeah.
We can't reverse the escalator for you, Bert. Then here might be an option. I just got this on Instagram. P1 here. If you want an escalator challenge, you need to go to the Peachtree Center MARTA station, the southeast corner. It is literally one of the longest escalators in town. They've actually used it to fill some of the movies here, and it's not nearly as busy as the airport at the Escalator airport.
I thought the tallest escalator in the world was at the CNN Center.
Now,
Or what used to be the CNN Center.
I don't know that.
Because that's a tall ass escalator as well.
The one at the CNN
In the
Center.
CNN Center. Like when you walked in and there's that food court down there and there is this like massive escalator.
I'm not committing to the largest escalator in the world to run up it, but I can do that one at the airport.
I think it'll be close. It'll be a race
Okay,
to
Hong
finish.
Kong has the world's largest escalator.
That's where we
tallest.
going? When we take off.
All right. So when I'm at the airport tomorrow, I'll ask them if they can do it. If not.
No, you are not.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure I will. I'm an ambassador, man.
Yeah,
it's
the time to ask.
Yeah. I was asked to be an ambassador. That's like a key to the airport. I can get on any flight without a ticket. That's what I'm assuming comes with
This
it.
is the time.
All dad wants to do is take his daughter to Disney. So why is mom kind of throwing up some obstacles here?
Dude, this is wild. I think I know where people are going to lie when you listen to this, but there are some nuances to it that make you wonder, is she in the right or is he in the right? So I got this from Emily W. King _. So you're not going to hear Emily here because she's stitching a woman's Instagram reel with hers. And so I'm leaving her take off so we can just throw our own out here. But what you're going to hear is a mom talk about how her ex wants to take their daughter to Disneyland. But she's like, yeah, no, not unless you take her 5 other siblings.
So my daughter's father tells me today that for spring break, he's taking our daughter, we have one daughter together, to Disneyland for 5 days. And I guess it was going to be a surprise, or it's going to be a surprise, or was, whatever. So I'm like, awesome, I'm going to go shopping, get her a couple outfits, I'll get her a new bathing suit, da-da-da. I'm thinking about all these things, and then I'm thinking, wait, just her? Because she has 5 other siblings. So I had to ask him, everybody else is invited too, right? And he looked at me like I was crazy and said, no, those aren't my kids. We were together for years. You were their stepfather. You're going to take your daughter to Disneyland and not take her siblings? Do you know how upset that would make them? Not doing it. She's not going unless her siblings can go. Period.
All right, so that's the debate, and that the comments got the comments were commenting. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And a majority of the people are on the dad's side. They're like, that those are not his children. If you want those kids to go to Disney, then you need to hit up their dad or dads and have them foot the bill.
I think I need more context to it also. Like, did he raise all of them from a very young age?
I don't know. We don't. That's the limited information that we have, and like as far as how many years they were together and how long he was a father in their lives, as far as like their stepdad goes, I have no idea.
It's tough without that detail because being a step parent, I feel like it can go one of two ways, right? Like sometimes you leave the relationship and then that's kind of the end of the relationship. Whereas with other situations, it's like that's always going to be your children because you had that kind of influence with them. But I don't see a world where dad is supposed to take every child to Disney, especially as expensive as that is, when these children have other fathers who could be helping him do that. I think he's only really obligated to take his own now that they are no longer married or in a relationship.
I know. It's like you got to take out a mortgage just to take your kids to Disney once. That's how expensive it is. So like 6 kids plus whoever else he's taking. To me, I think it all just weighs on what the relationship was with those kids when they were together. And like, do they still have a relationship? Because if you still don't have a relationship, like if they were just kids of convenience, like they were just there while you were married or there while you were together.
Kids of convenience. This is funny.
You have friends of convenience. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that we're not friends, but we're friends because of situations. So they might just be kids of convenience.
And the mom and dad aren't together anymore, right? Yeah, this is a tough part of divorce here also is that, look, if you're not married anymore, you can express what your opinion on how you feel about it, but you also don't really have the quote unquote jurisdiction to go, no, she's absolutely not allowed to go when she's on his time and vice versa.
Yeah, it's like, how do you, so one child's going to get punished because the other 5 can't go, essentially. And is there a lesson here for the other kids, or is this trauma that's going to send them into therapy because their sibling got to go to Disney and they couldn't because their dads aren't there to step up and do that kind of stuff when hers was? So it's like, there's some murky
Yes,
co-parenting waters there. But she was adamant, and people went after her in the comments, dude.
So last time we talked to Tara, there's some tension over the graduation tickets. Hey, Tara.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Okay, so I wasn't here the day you guys recorded Texting Tutor. So can you kind of give me an idea of exactly what was going on?
Yeah. So, it was a rather unpleasant situation. My mom wanted more tickets to my college graduation for her boyfriend that is now her boyfriend she cheated on my dad with and broke up the whole family. So that's what she wanted, and I only wanted to give her, just 3 tickets for my graduation, one for her, one for my grandma, her mom, and one for my grandpa, which is her dad. And the whole idea was to stop her from bringing her boyfriend, again, the guy she cheated on my dad with and broke up our entire family. So it was not exactly the person that I wanted in the audience on one of the biggest days of my life. So my mom decided that there's no way she was going to be told how many tickets she was allowed to have. So she went on the Facebook page for parents of students at my college, one of those things, and she begged for extra tickets. And she said she desperately needed 4. And of course, some sweet and unsuspecting people came through. So now, not only is he coming, but his 2 kids are tagging along now too.
Oh my gosh.
So she made it a new family affair.
Yeah, exactly. So instead of my graduation being a moment of celebration of my accomplishment, it's now turning into an awkward reunion with the man who blew up my parents' marriage, sitting in the audience like he belongs there. I'm beyond frustrated, and I just also feel bad for my dad. I'm honestly at this point contemplating not even going to my own graduation.
Honestly, I didn't want to go to my own graduation either. You're not missing much. It's sitting there and then you have to walk across the stage. But I don't blame you. This is becoming like a very weird family face-off where it's like she's peacocking her new family in front of your dad.
Do your grandparents have any pull with your mom? Like her parents? Like, can you talk to your grandma and grandpa and be like, can you talk some sense into your daughter? Or is that just, did that nut not fall that far from that tree?
She's kind of got that like big steamrolling kind of attitude, and they're so sweet. Like I think they just love her so much that I think sometimes even when she's not right, they just love her, and they just love her. I don't know.
I would give the same advice here that I give to parents that have young kids that get divorced. It's just that you got to think of your kids first. What's healthiest for the kids? It doesn't matter if they're 5 or they're 50 and getting their masters or whatever. What's best for the kid? And it doesn't seem like they are thinking about that when it comes to you.
It seems like the opposite of that, which I just don't understand.
Have you broke the news to your dad yet?
Kind of dropped little crumbs of like, maybe, but like she wasn't too happy, but I didn't say it's on. Like she's coming with him. I didn't say that yet.
There doesn't really seem to be any reason with your mom when we tried. But I mean, if I were in your shoes, this would be one of the few times in life I would put my foot down, because you seem passionate about not wanting her there, and you seem passionate about defending your dad. And I just don't feel like this is fair what your mom is doing. And for me, it would be like, this is my graduation. This is my moment. And this is who I want there. And that would be the end of it.
But what's putting your foot down, though? I mean, she already has the tickets and she already knows how Terry here feels.
I'm pretty petty. So for me, it would be like, if you can't abide by the rules that I'm setting in order for me to enjoy my graduation, the after parties and all of the things that go beyond that, I wouldn't want my mom there.
No, because it sounds like this is the kind of woman that's going to show up no matter what. Like you will go to a Facebook page and you start giving some kind of sob story about how you need 4 tickets. She's rolling up to Maggiano's or wherever that after party is.
It would be awkward.
Terry, you know your mom better than we do. Is there any compromise here, or is it just one or the other? It's like she's going to show up, she's going to do what she wants with her side of the family now, or you just don't go to graduation?
I don't know. I said originally, like, I gave her the options, like, we have the after party, everybody could come later. I try, with you guys helped me with the texting to say all that, other options. She's not hearing it. It seems like she is just coming. She's doing what she wants to do.
Yeah, if it's me, I'm going to graduation. I earned that. To walk across that stage, even though you said it wasn't a really big deal. I never had that experience. But, I mean, you've earned that. I think I would do it. You know what? Put the face on for a little bit, avoid her as much as you can, then go have a great day after that. What would you do?
Yeah, I've been going back and forth as far as like, how you can have the best day possible without letting her infringe on it. when it comes to college graduations, they have like the big one for the entire university, which I did not attend, but they also had one for my college, the College of Communications, which I did. And that's the one I got a lot out of that. I mean, and my advisor, because I took a semester off and then went back, nobody thought I was ever going to graduate, but I did.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats to you. And you deserve to have that moment. Like I distinctly, like that's a core memory for me, right? Like, and I want that to be a good core memory for you. So, I say you go. And then as far as like dealing with your mom and her boyfriend and his kids, I would tell your mom beforehand, I think boundaries are important, and be like, listen, you did this on your own. You knew my wishes. And I'm just going to let you know that I'm not going to address him at the graduation. Like, and you are well entitled to handle that situation as you see fit. And if she wants to make it like somebody like that, because it's coming across that your mother may be a wee bit of a narcissist. She obviously likes making things about her, and she's making your graduation about her. What narcissists get their kicks off the most is the reaction. So they do things and they say things strictly to get the reaction. But if you don't give them the reaction, which is weird because we feel like we're letting somebody walk over us if they do something to us and we don't say something, and if we don't do something, but that's what the narcissist wants. So in actuality, if you just don't even address it, if you don't acknowledge her, if you don't acknowledge him, if you don't fan that flame, that's going to get under her skin more than anything you could say or do.
You got to take your power back, girl. And the way to do that is to not give her the reaction. And honestly, I think it'll work out better in the long run if you can just smooth it over now, and then maybe one day you'll be one big, happy, blended family.
I'm so glad I dropped out, so I didn't have to deal with any of this. It's one of the best decisions I ever made now, thinking about it.
Yeah.
Based on the messages that I have received on Instagram, I'm just assuming I'm pulling the trigger right now on a decision that I'm going to regret for the rest of my life. But I'm here to do it.
The rest of your life?
The rest of my life. Because people are very passionate about this. There's no way I can watch Severance anymore. I'm giving up, man.
Why?
Is it too slow?
So slow. It sucks.
It is. It's really slow.
But you love it, right?
I love the first season. I thought the first season was really good. Not at first, though. You got to get past like the first couple of episodes. It gets a lot better in the middle, and then it heats up at the end.
Does it?
It heats up at the end, I promise. The first season.
You're not going to talk me into it. I think 5 episodes into it, not feeling it. That's like 4 hours out of your life on your deathbed.
Yeah, if you're 5 episodes in and you could care less how it ends, then you just need to bow out.
Yeah.
I get it.
Didn't we talk about a study where it says it takes like 8 episodes for you to actually get really into a TV show? Like
that's the
I had
season.
The season? No,
8
like
episodes
for
in the
some,
season, yeah.
you have to get to the very end to actually enjoy it.
I think I'll give it 2 episodes, and if it gets me, it gets me. That's all you got out of my life.
I have no stakes in the Severance game. Like, I have not seen season 1. I haven't seen season 2. Don't really plan on it. But because me and Cassie spent so much time trying to get Kristen to enjoy our A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and we kept saying the same thing to you, you just got to stick it out, that I feel like because so many people are passionate about Severance, I feel like I have to tell you to stick it out.
No.
Listen, I can't convince you because I got so bored with season 2. I watched the first 2 episodes and then I just waited for the finale.
Okay.
I watched the finale last night. I'm all set.
I'll tell you.
What's so funny is, what was that show that everybody was raving about, talking about? It was a Nicole Kidman show, and I know she's been in like a bajillion things.
Lioness?
Oh, The Perfect Couple?
The Perfect Couple.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing. That was so poorly acted. And it was just, I felt it was so bad that I was like, I just skipped to the final episode and actually fast forwarded
I did the
to
same
see
thing.
who the murderer was. Because I'm
Just
like,
the highlights.
I'm like, I don't care. I just need to know who did it. I don't care anymore about any of these plot lines and this horrible acting. Just get me to who done it.
All right, sticking with TV, Abby walked in here this morning and declared she will never watch a television show again produced, directed, or written by one guy.
Oh, yeah, Taylor Sheridan. I'm done with him. I
get
think
it.
he has a severe wound against against women. And let me be clear, I watched 1923. I watched the first season and I enjoyed it. I thought it had all the makings of a good TV show. There was action, there was romance, there was drama, there was feeling, there were high stakes. And I have been hesitant to watch the second season of 1923 because I know this man and his writing, and I just didn't have a good feeling about it. So I was like, you know what? I got too much anxiety to sit through 8 episodes. So let me just see how it ends. And then if it looks like a good ending, I'll commit to the rest of the season.
So you watched the ending first?
I watched it on TikTok.
That's impossible.
I know, that's crazy. It's crazy talk. I know, I'm insane. I'm mentally ill. And so I saw how it ended, 1923, and I've just seen such a pattern with this man's shows. And I'm not going to say specifically anything about it, but it's gotten to the point where I'm like, somebody hurt him and he needs to talk to somebody and he needs to get out of the writer's room before he puts out another TV show.
So Abby and I have been talking about this extensively during commercial breaks because Yellowstone is undoubtedly it's a good series, but I actually prefer 1883 and 1923 over Yellowstone. I've really enjoyed those series. And I'm all about a period piece. Last night, I watched the 2-hour finale of 1923. The reason why my face and eyes are so swollen is because I cried myself to sleep last night.
Well, that's a good show, right?
I do. I loved certain aspects of it. I was still so upset. I was so mad. One, I was mad at myself for not seeing it coming. And 2, for the way that it ended. And then there were other things. When Abby brought that up about Taylor Sheridan and the way women are treated in his series, I sat back and like the hindsight 2020 and I thought back, there was one storyline with Mr. Whitfield and his 2 prostitutes that was so like
gratuitous,
over the top, and it felt very, very unnecessary. And then it made me wonder, I was like, So somebody needs to inflict pain on women.
Really?
There's a pattern here. Because I watched Landman 2 and I felt like there were some icky storylines in that as well that I wasn't a huge fan of.
I loved that show.
Landman, I mean, it was entertaining and the hot football player's in it, so I watched it for him, but that's really it. My thing is with 1923, after finding out how it ends, what frustrates me about the ending isn't necessarily just the pattern, because there is a pattern there for sure, but there was no satisfying payoff. Like if you're going to torture us for 8 episodes or 9 episodes, at least give me one happy ending or a way to wrap things up that feels gratifying, or it feels like there's a purpose to all that pain. I just feel like we got smacked over the head a couple of times with a cowboy hat.
No, but see, I disagree on that because, again, 1923, when you look at the 1920s, I don't think a lot of people had happy endings back then. So...
Well, then there wouldn't be any follow-ups.
It wouldn't be no 2022.
A lot of people have...
I'm saying you can procreate and not have a happy ending.
An ending is still an ending, even if it's a sad ending.
But there is an intense amount of pain and an intense amount of sadness. And I am actually a fan of a show not ending. Like, I don't want a bow. I'm like, I don't want a bow because I don't think that's real life, because real life is not fair. And this entire series was not fair. The way it ended was not fair. But that is life. So I was okay with that. Now, as far as the way Taylor Sheridan treats women, I agree, but then also when I'm thinking back, the guys got shafted too, man. Like, there is so much killing in 1923. I mean, there are dead bodies everywhere.
I think there's a difference between like somebody dying and like what leads up to their death. Like, you know what I mean? There's a clear difference between how the men die and the women die. Like, if
they get a clean gunshot wound,
they get like pew pew, and then the women like have to go through it.
They are tortured,
and then they die.
Kill the men and abuse the women is what you're saying.
But no, I'm not. I'm saying that's what happens. I'm not saying do it. I'm saying that's how he writes it. He like really drags out their suffering, and then they still die in the end. Like if they're
okay.
You know what I mean?
Like, at least let them live.
Yeah, I mean, give him something. Like it just felt like a beat down is what I'm trying to say.
But like, I'm not kidding you. 1883, the same thing. Sobbed. I have not cried that hard at an ending in a show ever. And then I watched 1923 last night. I mean, sobbing to the point like I was trying to hide it from my husband, but I couldn't. He's like, "You seem really sad," and it's like, "Because I am."
There are some shows that either an episode or an ending that will keep you up at night. I remember with Game of Thrones, the Red Wedding.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't fall asleep. I'm like laying in bed, like this couldn't have just happened, right? But it did.
That scene was a little gratuitous too, but I still feel like Game of Thrones in some way, like there's still triumphs in it that make it feel, even if it's not perfect and it's not a perfect bow at the end, there's still purpose to everything that happens in the shows. And that's what I love about film and TV is that even though bad things happen, we can still see the reason why they occurred.
The timing of this call that we're about to take couldn't be any better for me. A couple of minutes ago, we were talking about TV shows, and I told you guys that I'm giving up on Severance, right? But then I started a new show based on Abby's recommendation before we left for vacation, and I have fallen in love with Love on the Spectrum. It is the most adorable show I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God, I love it. Like if you,
so good.
It's such a good feel-good show. So if you've just finished 1923 or Severance or one of these beat-down shows, and you just need something that is going to make you giggle and kick your feet and just believe in love again, you need to watch it. But honestly, I really think one of my favorite parts of seeing this show is just seeing the families interact and getting inside people's homes and seeing how much love has come from their house that is now going to expand into finding their partners and stuff. It is precious.
Have you guys watched it at all?
I haven't. I just the clips that Abby played prior to us going on vacation, and then the clip from Kelly Clarkson when one of the prominent people from Love on the Spectrum got to meet Jack Black, which was just adorable.
One of the stars on the show is Connor, and he's from here, just outside of Atlanta, right? And you just can't help but fall in love with the dude. You really can't, because he's dating, and he gets very particular about who he wants to date.
Oh, this was the one about dating blondes, right?
Yes. And watching the family interact and walk him through that, it's just such a wholesome. Every now and then a show like this comes along that doesn't really have to be controversial at all. You could sit down and really enjoy it. It's just a great show. And I can't thank you enough for the recommendation. It's awesome.
Oh, I mean, it's all over social media. So if it wasn't me, you were going to find about it somewhere because there are clips of Connor everywhere and Tanner, who was the guy who got to meet Jack Black on the Kelly Clarkson show. They're just really, really fun, joyful, and delightfully candid humans.
So we didn't reach out to her, but Connor's mom, Lise, called us up today. Hey, Lise.
Hey, good morning.
Good. Thanks for calling. I feel like I'm talking to a big old celebrity.
I know, I'm fangirling.
Right. Thank you for calling.
Well, the reason I called is it was like I think it was the Friday after the show dropped on Netflix. My friend texted me and she said, the Bert show is literally talking about you and Connor right now. And it was just surreal. I've lived in Metro Atlanta since like 2003, and my name is in your mouth is weird to me. Thank you.
No, that's so cool. And
thank you.
Yeah, the segment you're talking about is Connor has some amazing one-liners this season. I mean, I was just with my family in Tampa, and we were going back and forth using them as if they're like common catchphrases that people are using. Like, if coppa feel I must, then coppa feel I shall. He's so funny.
But the punchline there is he didn't even know what it meant.
Yeah.
He doesn't even.
The interaction. The interaction with all the family, walking him through these dates, and laughing with him, clearly not laughing at him, and helping him through these relationships is beautiful. I can't imagine one person being upset or complaining about this show.
I know. And, people find their ways, but, we're not here for that. We're here for the love and the joy, and it's just an honor for us. This is Connor. This has been Connor his whole life, and it's just amazing that we got picked for the show and that we can share this journey. I personally, as his mom, I'm just blown away at his evolution, and it's just something I never thought we'd experience with him, and I don't know, it's just been great, but I just being a local Metro Atlanta girl now for a long time, and just wanted to thank you guys for shouting out the show and sharing and turning people on to that.
Well,
Absolutely.
Lisa, I want to know from your all's perspective, because I think with exposure comes education. With education comes understanding. Then with understanding comes empathy. And I'm sure for those people who may not have an autistic person in their life, to be able to see this show gives them a better understanding of what living with autism looks like.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, and I took for granted as his mother, that, he's experiencing these feelings. Like, he has younger siblings who were dating and going out, and I was so focused on Connor's school, education, job. I'm his mom. I wasn't thinking about his love life. That he had all of these similar desires and just didn't have a way to come to me. This show kind of opened that up for us. But it's also very interesting. I think there's a lot of misconception that autistic people are rigid and not empathetic or not. There's just these lot of sort of stereotypes that I hope this show is busting up those myths and showing the autism community and all of its diversity and how beautiful and joyful and how much connection these individuals want.
There is some uneasiness, or there was some easiness for me watching this show, and I also love Bailin Out Loud, who has Tourette's, but she's just so incredibly funny. And I am not laughing at her, I am laughing with her, but there are some like mixed feelings that go along with it. Like, am I supposed to be laughing at that has anything to do with special needs?
So here's the thing. When I first saw the show, this was back in 2019, like the thumbnail on my Netflix, I was mad. I just saw the thumbnail. I thought, oh no, somebody at Netflix is getting a well-worded email. What are they doing? Is this like this making fun of people on the spectrum who want to be dating? I watched 5 minutes, and I really feel like they are showing the diversity and just keeping their dignity intact, which was my biggest thing. And I think too, neurotypical people are funny and have a sense of humor. We're not laughing at Connor is funny. He has a sense of humor. He happens to be autistic and he is hysterical, and he brings a lot of joy to our family. So Bert, I think because it's done so with such dignity and respect, I feel like enjoy the show. I'm his mom. No one's going to protect him more than me. And we're out there, and I'm co-signing. Like, I think it's done in a beautiful way.
Well, if you guys aren't watching the show, you really should. It's, again, Love on the Spectrum on Netflix.
Did you have any hesitations at first about the amount of attention that Connor would get from this situation, or were you always kind of all in for it?
Yes, I was super. I mean, we kind of just thought it was a giggle as we were going through the screening process. We didn't ever dream we would get picked. And it was when they said the director wants to visit us, that's when we took a pause as a family, sat down with Connor, and we're like, okay, this is a global show. It's won an Emmy. I mean, we will be exposing us as a family. And it was Connor's choice. And we said, if you want to stop now, this has been fun, like going through this process. But Connor was really excited. And we're like, we got your back, bro. We're going in all together. So here we are. But yes, I was scared. And some of the stuff I'm seeing now on some of the socials is hard. But, people who know us as a family, you just you gotta stay with who you are as a person and just kind of forget the rest.
Yeah. And I know autism can be a very isolating experience, but now he's out on a global stage and people around Atlanta or people around, the entire country know who Connor is. So have you seen this show positively impact his life outside of filming?
Absolutely, yes. Opportunities for him. But I also like the representation that Connor and Tanner and Danny and James and the whole cast is saying there is a platform and a space for individuals with disabilities. It doesn't even need to be autism. There's a place for them out here in talents and brands and deals and stuff that they were overlooked or they would get a neurotypical person to portray. No, these people are here for it. They are capable. And that is what, beyond Connor, I love that he is showing the world that like recognize these people can do the job and can get out there and show the world how wonderful it all can be.
Absolutely. Well, if you guys ever want to come in studio and hang out, take the pressure off of us. He's funnier than anybody in here, including myself. So if you guys want to come on in.
There's a bit of a G, yeah.
I'd love for you guys to come on in here and hang out if you want.
We'd love to. Absolutely.
I'd love it.
Oh, thanks for having me on. Thank you.
Thanks for calling in. Really appreciate it, Lise.
Yeah, have a good one.
You
Bye.
too.
Dude, you manifested that.
How's that?
Because you literally wrote it on the schedule like just a couple of breaks ago, but we kept talking about something else and it kept getting moved, and then all of a sudden she literally randomly calls up. Like, that was crazy.
Well, the question I was going to ask you guys is, because I'm not watching Severance because it just it doesn't connect with me, I started watching these shows and I'm like, I feel uneasy about it. So I was going to ask you guys, should I feel uneasy? And she just happened to call in at that time and I can ask her.
There's your answer.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Life gets busy. Maybe you got kids. You got to schedule things that are important to you, Kristen.
This is what I'm wondering, and this is coming from Maury Povich and Connie Chung. All right, they have been married for a very long time, and what works for them, I'm wondering, works for you, and that is scheduling your intimate time with your partner. So not leaving it to chance, not leaving it to whether you like somebody's in the mood or makes a move or whatnot. No, you have a designated day, you have a designated time for doing the deed. 1-855-BERT Show, 855-237-8746.
Oh, Maury Povich is 86 years old. He should be scheduling it right now because he ain't promised tomorrow.
But this is them discussing their scheduled time to be intimate.
I feel sexiest when?
You or me?
You.
I feel sexiest on Sundays.
Never on Sunday.
Yeah, not in our house.
Oh.
It's always been. Everybody says, can we play golf on Sunday? Nope. Sundays with Connie.
What does Sundays with Connie mean? Like specifically physical,
Yes.
or does it mean that's the day that we hang out no matter what?
No, that's the day that they are intimate with each other.
He can
On
play
the
golf.
Lord's Day.
Yeah, well, he can play golf, and at 86, he can't play golf and do that.
No,
You gotta
you
choose
gotta-
one.
I was about to say, like, the whole day he's with Connie. I thought when they said scheduling it, it'd be like from 7:01 to 7:05. Because you have plans after.
And I know like different phases of life and different chapters of life. My husband and I are one run right now. Like, we have a 4-year-old. We're exhausted. Even on I have a hard time calling it a vacation because if you go anywhere with a child, you're just parenting in a different locale. Like it's not really a vacation. It's a family trip, right? Do we have a wonderful time? Yes. Was it still exhausting? Yes. And my husband and I, as far as like spending quality time together, no, like when we were at the pool, which is where Jimmy wanted to spend most of his time, either Bart was in the pool with him or then we would, trade off and somebody tags in, somebody tags out, and then I'm watching them. And that was about the gist of then at the end of the day, because you've been running around a pool with the kid, you're exhausted. So, nothing's going to happen. And when he and I do, it's glorious. I mean, no notes. So,
Okay, Bart.
Yeah, girl. So I'm like, we were always happy when we do, but we don't do it enough. So should we start on the calendar? And I mean, I have a calendar. I don't even use my Google Calendar. I actually have like a Word document where I keep everything there. Is there a day that I need to start scheduling that's like, I don't even know how I'd spell that on the calendar.
Spell it just like that.
I think you need to ask yourself the same question Connie and Maury were asking themselves. Like, when do you feel the most sexy? And if that's Sunday for you, then maybe you schedule it on Sundays.
So me and my ex-wife did this, and it was Sundays, ironically.
Was it?
That was the scheduled day. Same exact reasons why you're talking about. Life gets in the way. But come Sunday, man.
Yep.
All right, that's the day you guys, all right? But let me tell you about the longest week of your life, when you missed that Sunday. Okay?
So you can't.
you can't change the schedule?
You could, but again, life gets in the way Monday through Friday. So if you miss that Sunday that you've benchmarked for that or earmarked for that, that's a long week.
If it works for you, it works for you. And maybe if my life was different, I'd have a bit of a different tune. But for me, I feel like scheduling it kind of takes the fun out of it.
Yeah, it's a different world once you start to have kids.
I would imagine,
we would
yeah.
never have even thought about it before we had kids because you got You have disposable time. Once you have kids, you don't got any of that.
One of the best parts for me is like that moment of like, oh, right now, this is happening.
Right.
Like, yeah, you take that away.
Well, so I'm looking at my schedule now, right? And like trying to see like what day works the best. And also it also depends on like a woman's cycle and how you feel about that, et cetera. So that is also going to come into play. But I'm looking and I'm like, okay, yesterday was a long day at Monster Jam. I'm exhausted. That's not going to happen. And then I'm looking at Tuesday and I was like, I don't like doing 2 things in one day. And I already have a meeting scheduled. And then Wednesday.
But it sounds like it's a chore.
And Wednesday.
I don't like doing 2 things in one day.
I really don't. I try not to schedule more than one thing. So listen, I have work and then one other like work thing. Like I only like scheduling 2 things in one day and work with one of them.
Can you prioritize do Bart on your to-do list?
Well, Friday's Good Friday. And
that'd be very Good Friday for him.
Great Friday.
Cass, you look like you want to say something.
I was going to make an inappropriate joke, but what I'm saying is in your 20s, it's like I don't like doing 2 guys in one day. And then after kids, I don't like doing 2 meetings in one day.
So the rest of the week not looking so strong for you. Damn.
How's next year looking?
Yeah, 2026 good for you?
Yeah.
Ooh, Tuesday of next week.
Tuesday of next week.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and it's our anniversary.
Oh my God.
He's a lucky dude.
Yes, he is.
He's a very lucky dude.
He's got it all.
The Bert Show.